Welcome back to the house. It has been an eternity, but we are back. We have been out and about these past couple weeks doing our own thing. While we've been gone, lots of stuff's been happening. Lots of stuff that we're going to get to and discuss. But if you're joining us today, thank you for joining us on either YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. We appreciate you all. But if you are joining us today, it's because you're tuning in to see the results of round 2 of the 2025 IP playoff bracket. The NBA playoffs may have just ended, but don't worry. The IP bracket is still here and upon us, and we are going to finish it out. We're going to talk about the matchups from round 2, heading into round 3. I'm your podcast host, Noah Marano. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you for listening to my sweet, sweet voice. And with my other sweet voice on the other microphone over there is 1982 NBA draft pick, Fat Lever, joining us today.
Hey, put your seatbelt on. All right, strap in. All right, July is gonna be crazy.
July is gonna be crazy.
Put that seatbelt on.
We have kicked off July because even though the NBA is ending and sports is kind of reaching its lull, to say the least, couple very cool things going on in the movie scene of things. So we're gonna be switching a little bit away from sports after we've talked about the NBA finals today, which we are gonna give a little bit on that up at the top, and then we'll get into the IP bracket. But How to Train Your Dragon just came out. We both saw it. Both really loved it. So go see it if you haven't. DreamWorks, invite us out to the next one. Appreciate
Yo, please.
Hopefully at that point we're big enough to where DreamWorks will recognize our talent.
Yes.
And bring us out to the second movie.
Hopefully by that point they will see the vision. They're not locked in right now.
I am wearing my McLaren shirt because tonight F1 premieres across the country.
Oh,
very
that's
excited.
right. That's right.
Very excited. I'm a huge F1 fan. I'm very pumped about this movie. I've heard very good things so far.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go see that. But like you said, July's crazy, man. We got some stuff coming up. We got Superman coming up.
What?
We got Jurassic Park coming up.
Come on.
We've got Fantastic Four coming up.
Say it
We're
again.
gonna do a small episode on Ironheart, I think.
Of course.
So we've got a long, busy summer ahead of us, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much the month of July right there. And then after that, we're kind of in the waning hours of everything.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be grinding hard for the next couple weeks and giving you guys content. But hey, if you're not quite enjoying our content, head over to the house. Check out our WWE feed. They're doing some cool stuff over there. Check out our friend Andy Roberts' podcast. He's doing some cool things talking about cinema and movies if you want to get a little more detailed into the movie scene. We got a lot of fun things happening at the house. But hey, let's get into the 2025 NBA Finals. So, they ended. OKC is our champion. It happened in probably the weirdest way I think I've ever seen a champion win a game.
Really?
So if you've been living under a rock, Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles minutes into the game.
Yeah.
In a Game 7 clincher. I texted you guys when it happened. I was like, has this ever really, is there anything that is remotely like this? I mean, the closest thing we come up with was Kareem going out and Magic having to come in to close it out at center. But outside of that,
Kevin Durant in Game 5.
Kevin Durant was definitely a big one, but that wasn't like a closer game. That was in the middle of the series.
Yeah.
That wasn't like winner take all. Just a very weird thing to happen, man, in the middle of what was a great series. And it's a bummer for Indiana. It's a bummer for Tyrese because he's gone all next year. Like that was the hardest part about the injury. It's like, dang, man, you're not just like losing your opportunity at chip. You're just next year is cooked for you specifically. So. But yeah, I mean, how did you feel coming out of the finals?
Congrats to OKC. Specifically, congrats to Alex Caruso.
For sure.
My boy, my bald-headed menace. Obviously, he had a ring before he got to Chicago. Went to Chicago, didn't win a ring. Left Chicago, won a ring. So it's just like cool, I guess. But nonetheless, love him. Happy for him. But all the credit to OKC. Of course, as soon as the game was over, I opened up X, and I was met with just a bunch of people saying that if Hallie didn't get hurt, they would have lost, and how did OKC win the 2025 championship? And it showed the 4 key essential people getting hurt.
Yeah.
While it's I have my opinions and whatnot, and I said this in our group chat, they still had to go and get it done.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Pacers in the first half, were showing a lot of fight.
Yeah.
So, credit to them in the second half for really, putting their foot on the gas and taking the game. So all the credit to them. That being said, in my personal opinion, I was always going for Indiana. I would like to think Indiana would have maybe had that if Hallie didn't get hurt. My biggest point being he had, 7 points in 9 minutes?
He had like 9 points in
it was 9
minutes.
It was 9 points in 7 minutes. Yeah, so it's like he was like on pace to like cook.
Yeah.
All like mad respect to Hallie.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of knew playing on that calf strain. They were like, "Yo, this is not good.
No.
This most likely will lead to an Achilles injury." He knew the risks, and he did it anyways. For the city, for the organization, he really he laid it all out there. Like you said, it was their own, it was their chance, and it's not promised that they're going to get there next year or the year after or we especially with the way that the league has been going, like we're not really seeing a lot of teams make it back to the finals the next year.
No.
We're not seeing repeats. We're not seeing any of that. So
Adam Silver had like a 10-minute long monologue at the top of the NBA draft talking about it.
He
tuned in last night.
No, not only that, it was a 10-minute monologue of him glazing OKC. But
that was weird, man.
Nonetheless, like it's just like respect.
Yeah.
In the situation, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it really is like that might have been their only chance.
Yeah.
It might have been.
Legitimately. And especially
Maybe.
we've seen that for the Pacers in their franchise, really, like in the past. They've made it against Kobe and Shaq and got demolished, and we didn't see them again.
Yeah.
For the next 20 years.
So it's sad. I hate, obviously OKC. So some people are gonna have the asterisk over their thing, and all
I'm really
that
tired
stuff.
of the asterisk culture. I'm really tired of it.
I
It seems like the last 7 championships in this era, everybody's like out, but doesn't count.
But this guy got hurt. Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, listen. I was not going to be angry if either one of these teams won because I was happy for both of them. I like the OKC young core. And then I just fell in love with Indiana during the Cinderella run. We texted our homeboy, Danny. He's a big OKC fan, and we were clowning on him. When we lived together a few years ago, we were clowning on them because they sucked.
Yeah.
Now he won a ring before all of us.
Boy, is this is backfired.
Yeah, so all in all, good. I mean, the series as a whole, phenomenal.
It was really good.
Loved.
Fantastic.
Always good to have a game 7 in the finals.
Yeah.
Always fun to have.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is what it is. I'm happy for them. Small market teams on top right now. Hopefully we see more small market teams in the finals. I'm an advocate for it. I'm a fan of it. I know the general population isn't, but they can DX suck it.
It's interesting because the last 7 years we've had these 7 different championships, and it's been a mix. It's been a mix of 3 teams that are dynastic and have long histories in the league. One of them relatively shorter history, but nonetheless dynastic. And then you have these 3 and 4 other teams that all are winning their first ring, or they're winning one for the first time in like a generation. Like it's just these special things for these small cities. So I think it's really cool. I love this era of basketball. I think it is definitely harder, like because when you get there, you think to yourself like, don't worry, we'll have another crack. It's like if you're a small market team or a fan of a small market team and you guys get there, it's like you better pray you take home the chip. Because you might not ever see it again.
Well, it's like what we talked about Boston. It's like, everybody coming into the season had Boston as a favorite, and Boston still looked good all through the regular season. It's like, a lot of people probably had them going to the finals, but here
we are.
And now we're all talking about how is Boston's gonna tank next season. You know what I mean? It's like
they've already
that's what I'm
started
saying.
the offload,
That's what I'm saying. Is like now, we went from like, we're gonna see Boston in the finals again to like, all right, Boston next year we're gonna tank. And wait for Jason Tatum to get back. It's like it's so quick.
Every year outside of the Raptors, we've probably said that every year because the Raptors were the only team like they lost Kawhi and we were like nobody talked about them like they were going to win the chip next year.
Yeah.
But every other team, it's like, oh yeah, I'm sure we'll get a repeat.
Yeah.
And it's just like
you just don't.
I have heard more talk about it around the Thunder team, like more serious talk about it than the rest of the years. But that's just because they're so young. They're set up for the future, but again, it doesn't matter.
Like, look at Denver. It's like Denver.
No, legitimately, that's what we were saying about Denver 2 years ago.
Denver is literally the same team they won the chip with. Some different players, but those players play the exact same role, right? So Denver's like quintessentially the same team they were when they won, and they're struggling to make it out the second round.
1,000%. So Just a crazy time we live in basketball. And listen, the East is wide open next year. The West is just as busy as it's always been. So it's going to be just another crazy year of basketball next year. But draft was last night. How did you feel about the Bulls pick? Who did the Bulls pick?
We
Can you
took
say his name yet?
No, I can't say his name yet. But we took the dude from France. He's
You like Noah's, specifically ones without H's.
Yeah. I don't hate the pick. I don't hate the pick.
Yeah.
I see the vision. And it's not like we're in a place right now where it's like, okay, we need to hit on this pick because this is going to be the piece that we need to take us over the top. Because we're far from the mountaintop.
Yeah.
So it's more of like a long term. He's young, very young.
He's only
the second youngest player in the draft. So he's got time to develop, play alongside Matas. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad we went with a bigger guy, like a forward. And he seems to be pretty versatile, which versatility is everything in this league, in this era. So I just don't have like some Bulls fans are like really upset or whatever, but it's like, I think I want to just give him a chance.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing with Matas. It's like, I didn't love him, didn't hate him. But then I watched his rookie year and I was like, okay, this guy could be a guy.
He apparently has gotten jacked in the offseason. Apparently he's like much bigger now.
Yeah. He's got a little scruffle beard.
Yep. So when you're in that stage of like a franchise, it takes a piece at a time.
Yeah.
Unless you can somehow scrounge together like 5 picks,
So I'm saying we weren't in a position to get a franchise guy. So it's like, we're really just kind of getting a piece. And then since he's so young, maybe hopefully in the future we can get a piece. Yeah. And then at that time he's walking into his prime or something like that,
Speaking of 5 guys, my favorite part of the draft was Brooklyn using all 5 of their picks and 4 of them specifically on point guards and half of those 4 being foreign point guards. What a weird draft by them, man. I can't believe they picked 4 players who do exactly the same thing.
I have no idea what they're doing.
I have no idea what they're doing. It's crazy.
They probably have a vision.
I'm sure they're like, guys, if we pick 4 of them, one of them's got to hit.
One's going to hit, we trade the rest.
Just crazy stuff.
I'm sure they've got a vision on their vision board.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy with the Magic's pick. I think it's another guy who can provide what Cole did off the bench, hopefully a little bit more in terms of like not so much up and down, more shooting, more offense off the bench. Excited for him to grow. Apparently, I think we're gonna get God Shamgod from the Mavericks. That'll be exciting because that'll help players like him and our other 2 guards really develop even more. I don't know, man. We made that big trade, and everybody's talking about us like we're gonna win the chip next year. Like I see something new every day. I'm just like surprised. My eyes are just like I don't want to. I haven't read that in 15 years, and when that was happening beforehand, I wasn't reading anything like that. So it's just weird to see. I'm excited for next year. I'm excited for that pick. I do wish we could get a stretch big, but I just don't think it's going to happen. That being said, if we get 2 more just like ace shooters, sure, I'll rock with it.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're done in free agency, so I'm excited for next year. I'm excited for this tonight's draft too, just to have on in the background, see who gets picked what. But you're probably tired of us talking about basketball. We are too. We're going to talk
It's over. It's dead.
We're going to talk about real basketball.
Yeah.
Real basketball now.
Stuff that
Into
matters.
the second round of the IP playoffs, voted on by you, the people. You guys have made the decisions.
The people.
Joe and I have had 0 input. We as much fighting and struggling as we can put up against some of our matchups that we didn't like the outcome of. It didn't matter. You guys spoke. So if you guys don't remember, go check out round 1. We'll put a little link in the video so you guys can go check that out, see who won those matchups. And of course, let's get right into round 2. With our first matchup, we had the upset of probably the playoffs last week, round 1, with Pixar, the 8 seed.
Taking out a number 1 seed.
Taking out a number 1 seed, and they're going right up against another juggernaut. Little less of a juggernaut, 4 seed, with our Marvel team, who aren't the Avengers, our Fantastics, if you would. It was a hard-fought battle, but listen, Pixar did a lot in that first series, and it just, unfortunately, I think they ran out of gas. And unfortunately, Marvel got them in 5, even after Pixar stole crucial game 3 to stay alive in the hunt. All props to Pixar. This was a great run. It's a magical run. Unfortunately, we all knew what they were going in. They just didn't have a lot of juice. They were the 8th seed for a reason. Even coming off the bench, didn't really have too much going on there. And props to them. They put up a hell of an upset, but I didn't see the Cinderella run lasting very long. I really didn't. Fantastics just really leaned into all their chemistry, their versatility. They just outmatched them. And, it took a lot of effort to crack Buzz and Woody, but once they did, the floodgates kind of just opened.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it.
I will say Woody just got exposed.
Completely exposed. Some would say fraud.
Spider-Man had 20 on him a night.
Yeah.
And it's just Woody's lack of defense really just kind of allowed, the Fantastics to kind of get timely buckets from Spider-Man. And it's like, Spider-Man dropping 20 is like nothing crazy, but it's just the timing of the 20.
Yeah, 100%.
And they were just it was a quiet 20, smooth 20. A lot of them came in maybe transition and, a few, plays that they ran specifically for him. But Woody just, not only could he not guard, but Spider-Man
he was completely eliminated from the series. He was completely taken out of the series.
Was put in a seatbelt, bro.
Yeah. Might as well play it off the court.
He was put on in a seatbelt, and honestly, Lightning McQueen came in a lot of times to kind of relieve him.
Yeah.
Put a little bit more speed on the court, but
listen, Buzz did his damnedest.
He did.
He averaged 18 for the series, and he was shooting well above 40% for the three.
Yeah.
Just didn't matter. He can only do so much, even with some help from Mr. Incredible off the bench.
The game they won they won Game 3. Buzz put up 26.
Yeah.
26, 6, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what more can you ask for him?
What more can you ask? And Woody, we're looking at it now. Game 1, he has 11. Absolute stinker.
It gets worse from there.
Game 2, he comes out with 9 points. It just seems like once they figured out the duo part of it and they took one of them off the court, everything Pixar had going for it just fell apart.
Yeah.
And they pulled out a very tough Game 3 at home in front of their fans. But it took literally a go-ahead bucket in the last 18 seconds by Buzz to even give them a chance like that. So, listen, like I said, magical first series. It's going to be something you're going to talk about for generations. That being said, you didn't want any part of this Marvel matchup. And
for sure.
They got rid of you as quickly as they could.
Hey, Thanos has proven to be a problem, man.
Absolutely.
19 and 13 is... 19 on 13 in the series. Those are some numbers.
He's putting up crazy paint stats, man. He's playing other centers out right now. It's just there's not even a question about it.
And then it's like, all right, Thanos come out for a little bit. And Galactus on the series was averaging 10 and 7 off the bench. Off the bench. So it's like, a combined between the centers, they're averaging 29 points for the series and 20 rebounds.
Yeah.
At the center position.
Yeah, there was no size inside for Pixar. Sully and Mr. Incredible got absolutely eaten up this series. And it didn't matter. They had no size coming off the bench to help them at all.
Yeah. Was a
Remy
downfall.
and Linguini got played off within a couple of minutes of Game 2. Didn't matter at all.
Yeah. The way they played, it was cute, but it wasn't enough.
It just wasn't enough. So listen, props to Pixar. Unfortunately, we will be sending them to the island of misfit toys. And listen, maybe they make another magical run next year. We'll see. I don't know. They seem to be a fan favorite. So we'll see what they do next year. But listen, the Fantastics are moving on to our vaunted Western Conference Finals.
What?
And they will be playing the winner of what has been called the best series
of the playoffs
of our generation. And probably one of the greatest series we've ever watched. Ever seen. Just blow for blow, pound for pound,
beat for beat,
back and forth. They get this game, we get this game. They get this game, we get this game. It seemed like Star Wars was down and out for the count after going down 3-2, but no, they put on their big boy pants. And Vader led them to victory in the last 2 games to steal this in 7 games, and it came down to just really who had the ball last. This was a tight one, man. This was absolutely tight. These teams were very evenly matched. Listen, you're talking about 2 teams that just have absolute units of rosters. We're talking Cap, Iron Man, Black Panther, Thor, Hulk.
Yeah.
Starting 5 versus Din, Obi, Luke, Darth, and Chewbacca. That's just a grudge match of IQs, of offense, of
chosen ones.
And chosen ones. It's just all around incredible stuff. Marvel really looked like they had a chance to take it in 6. And unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. They came back in Game 6, and you're just like the Pacers. They're going to be looking back at that one game and just be like, man,
yeah,
if we would have gotten that one.
Tell you what, Game 7 and father-son duo, man.
It's going crazy, bro.
Father-son
They
duo.
said everybody can relax. We got this.
We
Give us the ball.
Our metachlorian levels are off the charts. We thrive for moments like
Man,
this.
it's crazy, bro.
Obviously Luke having 21-7-4 and Vader going for 20-12-3.
Yeah.
But I will say my favorite matchup of this series was Chewbacca and Hulk.
Dude, just an absolute battle down there.
Dude,
in the paint,
I'm
off the
talking
block.
about the trenches down there, dog.
Mhm.
And you would think, like, obviously Hulk being a perennial all-star, and he's led the league in rebounds for multiple years.
Yeah.
But, you know, Chewie stepped up. And while he didn't do as much on the offensive end, you know, he was just equaling out on the boards.
Yeah, 1000%.
Even winning the battle a few times. So,
listen, I mean, a lot of things happened in this series. Game 1, Ahsoka hits a crazy clutch corner 3 with 30 seconds left to ice the win, put it out of reach. Game 3, Mace Windu off the bench comes into a double overtime grudge match.
come on.
An absolute. It was probably the best game I've seen in 10 years. It was incredible. But listen, comes in, hits a turnaround jumper in double OT in the final couple minutes to just what seemed like nobody was going to score forever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Mace only had 8.
But listen,
But hey,
those 8 were important.
exactly.
Those
Those 8
important, bro.
were critical.
They're critical. I mean, and then listen, Iron Man comes back in game 5, absolutely shuts up the home field.
Yeah.
Silences Coruscant with 30.
30 bomb.
Just gives him a 30 bucket.
He said, Jarvis, clip this.
And then, like I said, man, game 6, Marvel really thought they were gonna come home. They were gonna close it out. And Dooku off the bench, talking about bench players, man, that we've seen in these playoffs. Bench is what's key. Dooku off the bench blocks a potential game tying layup, just with his reach, man. He's long experienced player.
I'm telling you.
And they put him on the court because of that. He knew what to do in crunch
because
time.
they knew in the crunch that they want to call that ISO.
Mhm.
And there's just no better ISO defender
No.
outside of Jamie Lannister that did get
This is
eliminated
true.
last round. Count Dooku is one of the best in isolation. And I mean, that's why they pay him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Yeah,
he's,
I mean-
he's smarter than your smartest player. I'm sorry,
sure.
he is.
He
And,
is.
Like he knows how to get position when you feel like you've got it on him. And listen, he stuffed that last layup. And like I said, you lose game 6, game 7's anybody's game. And listen, the stars came out to play. Obi-Wan completely snuffed Captain America. Didn't do anything in game 7. Obi completely took him out with his defensive form.
Yep.
And then, like you said, man, the midichlorian count just took over.
Come on.
Took over in game 7, man.
What are they supposed to do?
What are you supposed to do against that? I just don't know. I just don't know.
Thor, a literal god,
Yeah.
cannot stop
Yeah.
Darth Vader.
I mean, listen, final 30 seconds. Luke hits a tough mid-range fade.
Okay.
Captain drives down on the next possession. Obi-Wan blocks him.
Stuffed them.
Stuffed him.
It's like, Cap, it's my team now.
My team.
And after he
Oh,
blocked him, he
man.
hit him with one of these.
Yeah. He
You
hit him with the most aura Cap has ever sensed in his life.
You have done this yourself.
And listen, man, Vader grabbed that board. He goes straight to the line because they got a foul. And
Yeah.
after that, it looked like they had a chance at a putback dunk. Hulk misses it. And what do we know? The Empire moves forward, keeps on marching. Just an absolute world crusher of a series. I mean, just unreal stuff. I was so happy just to be watching it.
I know.
I was so happy just to be a part living during this era of seeing this
yeah.
battle. And listen, these are two powerhouses. I'm sure we'll see these teams for a couple
We
years
had
to come.
good seats too. I mean,
Yeah.
they hooked us up. They did us right by that one. I mean, courtside that game.
Yeah.
And it's just, man, I wish I was in the moment. I was
Yeah.
living in the moment. I just didn't know what was going on. I was having an out of body experience. I wish I would have got a clip, got
or
a film.
Or just visually just took it in and put it in the back of my head. But
Yeah.
the adrenaline was running so high.
Oh my gosh. To even think to pick up my phone would have been a disservice to the
Absolute
moment.
disservice.
And so I just was kind of living in the moment. And man, what it would have looked like to get that clip
Yeah.
of Luke, bro, going left at the elbow, hand extended.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just crazy
gosh.
stuff, man.
What
Crazy
a
stuff.
shot that was.
Well, listen. If it wasn't for that, we'd have an all Marvel semifinals in the Western Conference. So thank you, Star Wars. Thank you to the people.
Yeah.
It was close. It was close. It was about as close as we can get. But listen, preview for the next round for these two teams. We got just another juggernaut of a matchup, to be honest. I'm sure the Fantastics were probably expecting their Avengers team to be on the other side when they got there.
But in my opinion, man, I think the Avengers team is the better of the two Marvel teams.
I agree, but honestly, the more and more I see these Fantastics play, I'm not sure which way that series would have gone. I think it's very realistic that we saw that.
I think it's the Fantastics, man. It's their front court that's very dangerous, whereas the Marvel where the Avengers, it's their back court.
Yeah.
So now that it's going to be flipped here in this next series, you know, we'll see. I mean, you know, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
This is a backcourt matchup, bro. In this next series, it's going to be incredible to see these guards go up against each other. But listen, I'm just wondering, like, is Vader and Chewie going to be able to handle Thanos in the post?
See, the thing is,
that's my question. If it might come down to that.
Hey, I asked the same question about Hulk, and he handled it. He handled his business. So, you know, some would argue, hey, Thanos punked Hulk. Okay, valid. But so we'll see how it goes.
We will see how that goes. Mr. Fantastic's playmaking is going to be just a huge X factor. He was huge in this last series.
Yeah.
And again, the bench. Who's going to step up off the bench? Venom had a great series for the Fantastics. Really came in the crunch when they needed him. And like I said, Ahsoka and Dooku and Mace off the bench, they're putting up numbers, man. Yeah. It's hard to stop the second unit when they're rolling like that. So I guess what I'm wondering is, do the Fantastics have enough coming off the bench to defend that?
It's a valid question.
So that's where I think we're going to be looking for those left hooks, those counters, those dodges, those weaves. What we're going to see from the Fantastics kind of counteract that second unit coming in. Because listen, it's just going to be an absolute showdown. But listen, if I'm Star Wars, my number one priority is the kid in red and blue over there. We got to find a way to stop and slow down Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Don't know how. I haven't seen somebody do it yet.
Nope.
That being said, I haven't seen anybody slow down Luke yet.
It's true.
He's doing his business. He's doing it.
Yeah.
He's getting in there. He's giving you 25, and he's walking out.
A smooth 25,
smooth 25. Doesn't
like
seem hard.
Smooth. Like, if I had to give him an NBA comp, it'd be like Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Is very smooth.
We don't see a lot of defenders bothering him, too. I'm wondering if Daredevil and Spider-Man can kind of get up in his grill a little bit and bother him a little bit more.
Listen, I just hope Daredevil can see him.
That is going to be a crazy matchup. I mean, listen, we might not even be getting Daredevil guarding him. I mean,
yeah,
who knows? They might have to put Mr. Fantastic on him. Just get as much advantage as you can positionally wise, and hope that's the best.
Yeah, you pray.
You pray. But this is gonna be a great matchup. We're gonna have that one dropping for you guys, of course, to vote in the next couple of days here. It's gonna be super fun. Can't wait to see the results from that one. Moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals. This was a pretty typical matchup. We didn't get too many surprises in this one. I will say, even though we did have an upset, it didn't surprise me too much. It didn't. I'm sure you're happy to talk about it. But before we talk about that one, let's talk about the Justice League taking down our beloved Cartoon Network.
Sad.
In 6 games. I was so sad. This was my team. I really was pulling for this Cartoon Network team. And listen, they looked like they were trying to go blow for blow. They just they don't have enough firepower going on for them ultimately against a very experienced Justice League team with a very experienced all caliber player in Superman. They just didn't have enough. And that's ultimately what it came down to. Jake was getting creative out there. Finn was getting creative with Jake out there.
Yeah.
Number one was scheming. He really was. He was doing his best, but ultimately it just didn't matter. Ben 10 did lead all Cartoon Network characters with 18 points, 6 rebounds, 1 steal.
I'll tell you what, Wilt tried to turn back the clock.
He did, man.
You would have thought in some of those games he had 2 arms.
Yeah.
Giving them averaging a smooth 15 and 10. You can't say he didn't give you effort.
No.
You can't say it at all.
Not at all. Unfortunately, he did shoot 18% from the arc.
Yeah, but he has 1 arm.
Hey, 18% is 18%. But ultimately, too, like the Cartoon Network just didn't have enough 3-point shooting. They just didn't compared to this DC team. I mean, Superman posterized Wilt game 1. That was like the picture I'm gonna remember.
Yeah,
game 1. It's sad to see Wilt go like that.
Yeah, and you know what sucks is he came from the left. No, the screen came. Superman was on the left. Screen came down the right lane, and when Wilt jumped, the way the body was positioned, it was his half arm. So the picture shows
I think he forgot
his half arm, and it's like just above Superman's crotch, and
Yeah.
Superman is just
Yeah.
got him back here. And it was very unfortunate.
It was very unfortunate. And listen, they went down 3-1. And
Yeah.
after that, it was just tough to come back through. Finn gave it a great effort. They brought it back within distance. I mean, Finn gave a great effort in game 3, hit 4 straight threes out the second half. Did a great job. Samurai Jack just doing his thing off the bench.
What a big pickup.
But listen, like I said, game 5, Superman comes out, drops a playoff high, 46 points on your head. And it's like, just don't know what there is to do against that. There's just nothing you can say, man. There's just nothing you can say. So unfortunately, we will be saying goodbye to our
he had 40. What did he have? He had
46.
46. And then I think I remember saw a stat that they were talking about on the commentators were talking about. I think he had 35 in the second half. It was 35 or 37. I can't remember if 35 or 37, but like in the second half, like he was going.
I mean, they felt like they had something in the first half.
Yeah.
Just didn't.
And he just woke up.
He just woke up and it didn't matter. They didn't get much contribution off their bench either. Again, big bench contributions, man.
Justice League had big bench contribution. They had Shazam average 14 and 5 on the series off the bench. So it's like and I think it's more of like, and that's great. I think this is great coaching. They realize Superman they just can't guard Superman.
No.
It's like, hey guys, don't we have somebody on the bench that's also like kind of like Superman?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's put him in.
Let's throw him in there. See what he can do off.
See what he can do. And he gave you 15 and 10.
And it's hard to have both that coming off the bench and Green Arrow coming off the bench shooting damn near 55% from the field. Even limited shots, sure. Doesn't matter. They're going in.
They're going in. Absolutely.
So it's like, what can you do against that when there's just no stopping of the bleeding?
Oh, gosh, man. Green Arrow was a corner merchant.
Yeah. Just
locked, loaded, just ready.
And they never solved it.
Yeah. And Green Lantern does what Nick Batum does. And he catches and shoots in one motion. So it's really hard to guard.
Yeah.
Because this is where chemistry comes in. They're passing the ball at his face, not at his in his shooter's pocket, at his face. So Green Arrow's just catching it, and it's just in one motion. And what are you supposed to do?
Nothing.
Because you have to help on the drive.
100%. And listen, now this Eastern Conference with the DC Villains in our next matchup getting upset by the video game team. Looking wide open for the Justice League team.
Or some would say wide open for the video game
listen,
team.
once you get to the Final Four, man, it really becomes a different game. It can be anybody's game. We're going to see how this matchup goes. But before we talk about that one, video games team, man, they came out to play. And I think to a team who was maybe keeping their eye a little bit too far ahead.
Yeah.
Maybe still overlooking their opponents in hopes of getting that matchup with the Justice League again. Listen, the Villains are going home, man. They can't seem to figure this out. And honestly, like my question moving forward for them is, if not this year, what year then?
Yeah.
Like I just don't know what you're gonna do. I mean, Sinestro carried them this series along with Darkseid. Darkseid was just their absolute MVP. They had no answers for Darkseid. Sinestro was going crazy in certain games, but like your main players aren't showing up. Lex is getting out-coached.
He was.
Getting completely out-coached.
And some argued the me characters were probably the weakest coaching staff.
And they absolutely coached circles around Luthor, man.
They did.
It's tough when a different one is showing up every night. It really is. Like, you just never know what type of style you're getting for the night.
Yeah.
You never know what kind of curveballs they're going to throw at you. Regardless, man, you're the better team. You can't lose this series. That being said, series leader in points, Kratos was going crazy.
Hey.
Kratos was going crazy. He took it personally.
This was his series.
He said, gods? Okay.
Yeah. Gods? Perfect.
Puny god.
Just how I like it. Oh,
My favorite. It was like serving a 4-course meal to our boy Kratos.
Honestly, that should have been our conversation going into the...
completely overlooked on
our
bad.
Yeah.
Kratos, I'm sorry, especially for being one of my favorite characters of all time. I apologize.
Yeah, we were very familiar with your
Very
game.
familiar with your game. We chose to overlook it because of the age gap. And listen, I'm sorry.
The cards played right into his hands.
Right into his hands.
Right into his hands.
It didn't matter. Listen, DC, like, they started the series how they were supposed to, right? They win game 1 and 2 at home. Doesn't really seem like much is going on that's crazy in the series. But then listen, when video games win 3 games in a row, kind of seemed like something clicked. It kind of seemed like something clicked, and then they got back home at game 6.
I mean, it's just game 3 was just so exhilarating with Mario coming out 24.
I mean,
hitting 5 threes.
Obliterating them. Bro.
Can you find the little plumber? No, you can't. Apparently not. 5 threes.
At what point do you say we should probably stop him from shooting the 3-ball?
And we're going to get into that. Mario was oh my gosh, he was so far ahead of these guys. I will get into that. He's setting up something later coming on. So game 3, electric. Mario, 24, 5 threes, and Bowser absolutely obliterated Doomsday.
That's tough.
I mean, it was a shimmy, drop step, grown man dunk.
It looked like some Hakeem Olajuwon's early Shaq
Oh my
type
gosh.
stuff. It was
And
quite
it's like-
embarrassing if I'm Doomsday.
And it's like, it was so aggressive. It had you thinking, did he say something about Princess Peach? I don't know. Because like that dude he sunned Doomsday. Who suns Doomsday?
Sunned him, bro. Completely sunned him. And like I said, like Darkseid's like, he can only do so much for the team.
Yeah.
And honestly now, like I come out of this series and I'm like, what does his legacy look like, man?
I don't know.
Can't lead this team to a title. Probably going to have some turnover again because you're just looking for answers at this point.
Yeah.
You brought in General Zod. He was a no-show in the playoffs for the most part. Outside of a couple big games.
They really, and it's funny because they really brought, they signed General Zod this last offseason specifically for Superman. And again, and you said it best, they were just looking too far in the future.
Much.
Now, listen, granted, if they got past video games and we got a Justice League and a DC Villains a series, that General Zod signing would have been fantastic.
Yeah,
but
100%.
he just wasn't the answer.
They might have even actually woken up to play more, just as a team, as a unit, because they're facing the people they want to take down the most. But just didn't matter. And listen, after an MVP finalist year from Darkseid, it's just like, I don't know what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I don't know what the move is here. I don't know how to adjust this because you can't get out of your own way. And it's not even you. It's your teammates. So listen, if I'm Darkseid, might start looking at my free agency counter just to see what's out there. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough going home after that matchup. If you do the video game series, man, video game team, this is a highlight win of your
Sure. I guess not sure. They've been around.
No,
video game teams have been around a long time.
older team, but this is a highlight, man. This is one you're going to talk about to your kids when they get older.
Yeah.
Because listen, Kratos just took it personally and he eviscerated most of the competition.
Yeah.
Personally, Black Adam could do nothing.
Nothing. And I mean, and even in game 4, 20 seconds left, Black Adam thinks it's a good idea to take Kratos to the rim.
ISO. Somebody. I don't know if he saw the coach wave it to him. I don't know if Lex was waving it to him. Why he decided this is my ISO moment?
Yeah.
Don't know. Don't know at all. Listen, theme of the playoffs, bench. Bane, no show.
Yeah.
Joker, no show. We already talked about Zod.
Yeah.
Tough way to go out,
That's
man.
tough. That's tough. And for Mario to ice game 6 with a floater, I mean, I think, it was great closeout.
Yeah.
Run him off the line.
Yeah.
But that floater over Darkseid,
crazy stuff.
it's too high.
Crazy stuff, man.
It's too high. Nobody in the league can get that. So, yeah, man, that's video games advancing. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm excited for them. They might have to be my new team. I might have to join the bandwagon with you. I might have to join it because I'm excited for them. That being said, they have a juggernaut of a series next series.
Of course.
Because as opposed to the team that was looking ahead, this team will be looking them dead in the eyes.
Yes.
But then again, Kratos is your key here, man.
He is.
These are gods among men. They don't scare Kratos. Kratos doesn't blink.
No.
I'm excited to see this
salivates.
matchup, man. I really am. I'm excited to see if Justice League, their defense can handle Mario. I'm excited to see if Martian Manhunter can spread out Bowser a little bit.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough because can you play him inside?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You can maybe
Not
bring him
gonna
out to
lie.
York.
Not gonna lie. It was the last series.
Doomsday?
No.
Or the
sorry.
round one series?
Now, who's the center for Cartoon Network? Wilt. So I was going to confirm. Wilt was giving him buckets. Not gonna lie. Wilt was doing some damage to Martian Manhunter. So I only think it'll get worse.
It's fair.
Not a great matchup for him.
It's fair. They might be looking for other options. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know who coming off the bench could possibly help them with that matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got.
To be fair, even Darkseid.
They're stout. They don't have a lot of size coming off the bench. It's really just Manhunter.
Yeah,
So,
and Bowser's 8 feet tall.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to like match up with that if you're not Manhunter. So unfortunately, like,
and it's like
gonna be on an island with
him backing you down is not
no
really fun.
No,
with the spikes.
No,
you know.
I think he'll be able to handle it, but it's just gonna be tough when he's just going over the top of you all the time. So we're gonna see if Marja can handle that. But listen, we've got a younger but older team, meaning they've been around for a while, but this is a new era,
new
of
regime
of this team. Coming in to take on a proven champion.
Yeah.
And so we're going to see how this video game team steps up. Again, it's probably going to come down to benches, but as we're seeing, these 4 teams left probably have the 4 deepest benches of the entire league.
Agreed.
So I'm very excited. I can't wait to see these matchups. I can't wait to see what the fans choose for these matchups. We'll be dropping a little bit more info on full rosters too.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. But I'm excited, man. We're going to get into these round 2 results here sometime next week, as well as the finals coming around the corner to decide our inaugural 2025 IP playoff champion.
Wow. How exciting.
Very excited. Very exciting between what we got. Our final 4 officially is we have the Galactic Empire taking on the Fantastics.
Yep.
We have the Mushroom Kingdom taking on the Justice League.
Yep.
Just a great Final 4.
That's a great Final Four. I couldn't have marked it up better myself.
I'm very excited. Very excited for them. Very excited to push into the future with this. If you're joining us on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share to your friends. Go check us out on Instagram and TikTok because we are dropping these polls. So please go vote on your matchups. Vote who you think is going to win these matchups. If you're checking this out on social media for any reason and you don't know the rest of the lineups, come watch the video. We've got 2 incredible videos discussing and breaking down the matchups, breaking up the lineups. And we will, of course, on our other feeds, have some other episodes coming out pretty soon. Going to have more cinema coming out because, like I said, Andy's always cooking with what he's watching during the week. So go check out his videos because he's pretty much dropping an episode a week at this point, I think.
Yeah, and WWE has Night of Champions this Saturday. So, it's going to be a really big PLE before we get SummerSlam. So boys are going to be breaking down Night of Champions, any belts that flip, all that stuff. So check out Pipe Bomb Podcast as well as they break down all things WWE.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right, we're going to get out of here. This has been the House 755 IP Bracket. We are so happy that you guys are joining us, and we can't wait to see you guys next week. Peace.